Hey there, movie lovers. It's the Recapped Man again, and I'm going to explain the 2024 movie named The Fix. Spoilers alert. In a post-apocalyptic world where air pollution has reached critical levels, everyone must wear masks outdoors, and homes are equipped with air filters. The Aethera company offers a costly medicine called AIRemedy, which allows mask-free breathing for about 6 hours. But only the wealthy ones can afford it. In a dark lab, a scientist named Solomon records a video, warning that Aethera will eventually ration AIRemedy. Anticipating desperation, Solomon plans to start a new trial, despite knowing that higher doses of his compound could trigger fatal immune responses. He believes it's necessary to save humanity. Suddenly, he receives an alert that the last green zone on Earth has become polluted, putting 83% of the population at risk of lethal toxin exposure within 18 months. Solomon's friend Spider notices their lab is under surveillance and suggests disguising their compound as blue, a popular party liquid, to avoid detection by authorities. Meanwhile, Ella, a model for Aethera, promotes their products. Her mother, a former model, took her own life, and Ella inherited her legacy, causing resentment among other models that see her as a nepotism beneficiary. During a break, Ella's boyfriend Tully cancels their date, citing work. After overhearing gossip from other models, Ella texts her best friend Gina to hang out, unaware that Gina is having an affair with Tully. Tully wants to confess to Ella, but Gina insists they wait, as it's the anniversary of Ella's mother's death. Tully heads to a shady area to buy party drugs, while Gina waits in the car. Ella calls Gina to vent about Tully's absence, and Gina invites her to a party, but Ella declines, feeling down. After hanging up, Ella hears a homeless man at the station saying, "The toxic air is a punishment from God for what humans did to the planet." Meanwhile, Tully surprises the dealer by showing up. No one is supposed to know where the dealer lives, but Tully used a tracking app. While waiting for the dealer to get his package ready, Tully watches an interview on TV. The head of Aethera research, Eric, is answering questions from callers. At first, they're normal people, but soon a distorted voice, calling itself Lazarus, starts questioning the origins of AIRemedy and says the company won't be able to meet global demand. Eric gets uncomfortable and quickly ends the conversation. While the thugs are distracted, Tully sneaks around and finds the lab where Solomon and Spider are working on the compound, which is now blue. Tully watches Solomon take a tiny sample and instantly relax, so he thinks it's a new party drug. After Spider puts the compound in the fridge, Tully carefully sneaks around again to steal it. Then he gets his package from the dealer and leaves as if nothing happened. After leaving the TV station, Eric gets a call from the company CEO, who is also his father. The board isn't happy with the bad reputation the company is getting from conspiracy theorists, so Eric needs to find a solution immediately if he doesn't want to lose his job. When he returns to the lab, he tries a new medicine on a rat, but the rat dies after just a few minutes. Eric punches his tablet in anger before his assistant Angela visits him and explains they tracked Lazarus's call to Luxembourg. Afterward, Eric gets a call from his son Max, who is contacting him in secret because his parents are divorced. Max shares that he gave some money to a poor man on the streets, and Eric scolds him for it, saying people are parasites. The call is interrupted by Eric's ex, who announces they're moving to another city. Eric worries about his kid living in the dangerous red zone. In the evening, Ella goes home and looks at a magazine cover of her mom holding her as a baby. She knows the industry likes her only because she looks like her mom. She gets a call from her dad, who is helping the poor on another continent. Ella resents him for it and hangs up when he says she shouldn't be alone today. Feeling lonely, she decides to go to the party after all. At the party, Gina and Tully hide in the bathroom to try the compound he stole. Before they can take it, Ella finds them and freaks out when she realizes they're together. They argue, and Tully accidentally drops the compound before he and Gina leave. Alone and depressed, Ella drinks the compound. She then dances with Brian to make Tully jealous, but he doesn't care. Moments later, Brian is trying to get busy with a girl in the bathroom when Ella runs in, feeling really sick. The other girl leaves and Brian gives Ella some water, but she pukes on his shoes. She insults Brian to make him leave, then collapses on the floor. Seconds later, she gets a text from Gina asking if they can talk, but she ignores it and fills the tub with cold water to calm her burning body. In the living room, Tully realizes he lost the compound. While looking for it, Solomon and his thugs find him and chase him through the house. They reach the bathroom, so Ella hides underwater while the thugs punch Tully until he admits he lost the compound. After the group leaves to search the house, Ella resurfaces and tells Tully she took the compound. Tully runs to tell Solomon, but when the group returns, Ella is gone. They don't believe Tully when he says she was hiding in the tub because nobody can hold their breath that long. Suddenly, Tully takes out a gun and Spider tackles him to the ground, causing him to accidentally fire the weapon. Tully collapses from blood loss, and Solomon wraps his leg wound with a belt while the others search the house again. Spider yells that the cops are coming, so the partygoers run away. After Solomon and his group leave, Tully wakes up and discovers Ella hiding on the ceiling. She lands perfectly on the ground, and Tully notices weird spots on her arm, but she thinks it's just a reaction to the compound. Since Solomon locked the door when he left, Ella angrily punches it, surprising herself with the resulting hole. As she leaves the bathroom, she finds the thugs guarding the front door, so she goes back and breaks the bathroom skylight with her newfound strength. Ella and Tully take some AIRemedy before climbing out of the bathroom to reach the roof. The noise gets the attention of the thugs, so Ella jumps to another building. Tully tries to do the same, but his injury makes him slip. Ella reaches out and easily catches Tully because her hand is now very sticky. Gina sees this from the street and runs around the house to find them. The duo tries to escape, but Tully slips again and falls, and Ella jumps after him. By the time Gina arrives, she finds Tully dead and thinks Ella pushed him. While Gina calls the police, Ella starts running from the thugs again. She jumps over the fence and reaches the road, where she collapses right in front of Brian's car. He takes her away just before the police arrive. The mysterious person who has been following Solomon sees all this and now knows about Ella. At Brian's apartment, he tries to get handsy with Ella while she's still unconscious. She wakes up and punches him to get him off her. Brian says he's been cut, and Ella notices a claw on her elbow hiding under her skin. Brian runs away in fear, and Ella goes to the bathroom. She sees more weird blotches on her body that won't go away when she washes. The claw comes out again, so she uses scissors to cut it off. Afterward, Ella rushes to the hospital and shows the weird colors on her face to get attention quickly. The nurse thinks she is sick and should be quarantined, so she calls security. With no delay, she begins to run and hides inside a patient's room, using the stickiness of her hands to climb the wall and hide on the ceiling. She asks the patient to stay silent, and the girl doesn't say anything when the guard runs by. After he's gone, Ella gives the sick girl all the AIRemedy she has. Meanwhile, Eric receives information about Tully's death, and Ella, because he was the one who sent someone to follow them. Brian has told the police about Ella's claw, so now Eric is interested in her too. Solomon and Spider make it to Brian's apartment and find the claw in the sink. Eventually, Ella finds Gina, who runs away as soon as she sees her. Ella runs after her and tackles her to the ground, trying to explain she needs help. Gina lets her into her apartment, and Ella looks at herself in the mirror to discover her skin is getting worse, and her nails are coming loose. She feels a great craving for meat, so she grabs a burger from Gina's fridge before taking her phone. Since the thugs have Tully's phone, Ella texts his number asking them what they want. When the subject of the affair comes up, Gina and Ella start arguing again. Ella mentions that everything in her life was fake, and she thought Gina was her only real friend, but she was wrong. In return, Gina mentions Ella can behave like a brat sometimes and hurts people with her attitude. When the microwave beeps, Ella grabs its door with such fury that she rips it off. At that moment, Solomon calls, and Ella agrees to meet him later. Gina wants to call the police, but Ella stops her rather aggressively, and Gina realizes her friend is scared of her. In Luxembourg, Eric's men search an abandoned room for Lazarus, but only find the tablet used to make the call. There's a message mocking Eric for not having enough resources to keep making AIRemedy and being afraid of competition. Eric calls his father, asking for a few weeks to finish a new formula so he can spend time with his son before he moves away. But his dad only gives him 3 days. Back to Ella, she's eating raw meat while Gina tries to track Tully's phone. Before leaving for the meeting, Ella tells Gina that after this is over, she never wants to see her again. Moments later, she meets with Solomon, who distracts her so Spider can kidnap her from behind. Gina sees this from afar and follows them using the phone tracker. Solomon and Spider take Ella to their home, which is seen by Eric's man. Inside, Ella is tied to a chair, but grows another claw that breaks the bindings. She eats the meat on the counter without cooking it. When Solomon and Spider appear, Ella grabs a knife and spits acid at them, burning Spider's hand. The police arrive and start pounding on the door, so Solomon gives Spider the last compound sample and tells her to run. Solomon tries to convince Ella to trust him, but the police burst in to arrest Ella for assaulting Brian and killing Tully. Some officers find the lab and arrest Solomon too, thinking he's the leader. Gina watches her best friend being taken away and does nothing because she doesn't know who to trust anymore. Later in prison, Ella touches her neck and notices the blotches reaching her ear, which suddenly falls off, letting a weirdly shaped ear grow out instead. Ella covers her head with her hood, while Solomon explains his goal is to find an alternative to AIRemedy that can provide for everyone, regardless of social status. The conversation is interrupted by Eric, who reveals Solomon used to work for Aethera. He examines Ella's changes and pays to release both her and Solomon from jail. They leave in his car, followed by Spider. At Aethera's research facility, Eric sedates Ella to run tests. Her DNA is mutated, meaning she isn't human anymore. Eric goes to the basement, where one of his men is torturing Solomon. Eric asks Solomon to work for the company again, but Solomon refuses because he wants the medicine to be available to everyone. Eric disagrees, saying humans destroyed the environment, so he should choose who survives. When Ella wakes up, her face is half mutated. Eric tells her that her transformation means she can breathe polluted air, and her body produces an enzyme that could make AIRemedy. He manipulates her, saying he tried to contact her father but couldn't find him, and that Solomon isn't cooperating because he doesn't want to share the credit. Eric promises to make her normal again if she lets him run more tests. Ella believes him and signs the paper before being sedated again. When Ella wakes up, her new ears let her hear Eric talking to his dad outside the room. She learns that Eric wants to extract the enzyme through a procedure that will likely kill her. Her father has filed a missing person report, but Eric is bribing the police. Furious, Ella pounds on the glass, so Eric releases gas to put her to sleep again. Later, Spider arrives at the facility in a stolen van, pretending to deliver stock. The security guard there, busy playing video games, lets her pass. 2 doctors go to Ella's room to prepare her for the procedure, only to find her bindings broken. Ella reveals she's awake and hits the doctors until they tell her where Solomon is. The security guard sees what's happening and activates the alarm. Ella reaches the basement, but hears a guard coming, so she hides on the ceiling. When the guard is close enough, she spits acid on his face and knocks him down. The guard tries to get his gun, so Ella hits him again to knock him out. She then goes looking for Solomon, who explains he wants the formula to be free for everyone. He calls Ella's mutations just side effects, so she angrily pushes him against the wall, wondering how this can be better than the masks. Meanwhile, Eric goes to his private airport to pick up Max, who is upset because his father is late. When they arrive at the facility, Eric hears that Ella escaped, so he leaves Max with Angela before joining the search teams. Angela, refusing to babysit, leaves Max in Eric's office, where he finds Ella's locket. The guards are making their way into the tunnel, so Solomon shows Ella the vents. She climbs in with her sticky hands and brings Solomon up using her super strength, escaping before the guards see them. At the same time, Spider installs some bombs and sends the company a message warning about an explosion in 9 minutes. Angela tells Eric they should evacuate, but he thinks the bomb isn't real, and the message is just a distraction. After sneaking through a tunnel, Solomon and Ella make it to the lab. Using a hologram, he explains that the main ingredient in AIRemedy is extracted from a specific dragonfly found only in Africa. They're the only species unaffected by the bad air, and Ella is becoming one. This dragonfly has gone extinct because of Aethera's production, and synthetic ingredients don't work, which is why Eric wants to harvest Ella. Solomon has been working with Lazarus to perfect the formula by mixing it with other animals' DNA, and they plan to distribute it worldwide. At that moment, one of the bombs goes off, so Ella and Solomon start running again.
By the way, if you are enjoying this, don't forget to subscribe.
When they hear someone coming, Solomon tackles the person, only to discover it's Spider. Suddenly, gas starts filling the basement, so the group rushes upstairs and hides in the bathroom. In one of the stalls, Ella finds Max hiding from the bomb. He calls her a fairy, so she plays along and offers her hand. Max feels comforted and gives her the locket. Afterward, the group keeps running through the building until Eric appears with a gun. Solomon and Spider manage to avoid him, but Ella uses Max as a shield and pretends she'll hurt him with her mutations if Eric doesn't step back. Proving what kind of father he is, Eric opens fire anyway, and Ella dodges the shot just in time. She lets go of Max, and the kid distracts his dad, while Ella jumps down from floor to floor until she reunites with Solomon and Spider in the elevator. They rush to the garage and get in the van to escape as fast as possible. The company guards open fire, but Eric reminds them they need Ella alive, so they shoot at the van's wheels as it crosses the front gate. The vehicle falls and lands on its roof, but when the guards get closer, they discover only Spider is in it. Meanwhile, Solomon and Ella run through the forest, and Ella breaks the fence with her new claws to escape. All the guards go after them, and only one man is left watching Spider, so she pretends to be sick to catch him by surprise and knock him out. Now, she can escape as well. Eventually, Ella and Solomon reach the bridge, and Solomon tells Ella to jump to escape. She doesn't want to leave him behind, so Solomon shows her his mutated arm. He only took a bit of the compound because he was a coward, so he isn't sure he'll survive anyway. Solomon gives Ella the last sample and asks her to find Lazarus to finish the medicine. Ella gives him her locket before jumping into the river, successfully getting away. Soon, the guards arrive to capture Solomon, and Eric announces he'll force him to make another mutant. Sometime later, Gina finds an envelope at her door with the special decorative earpiece she used to share with Ella. That night, Spider hacks into a TV channel to tell the whole world they must evolve to avoid dying. Meanwhile, Ella's mutations have given her wings, and she uses them to find Lazarus, who turns out to be no other but Eric's assistant nurse, Angela.